No tank.
You know the drink? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know the drink, but we didn't have that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, that's what this feels like. This feels like, okay, I went there for $500. These guys are now going to space because they're billionaires.
No, you're not wrong. I just wish, and far be it for me to tell a billionaire how to spend his money. Okay. I mean, maybe buy a wrestling promotion. That seems to be working out pretty well.
That's another way you could go with it.
But if I'm doing it, I'm taking, and who was it? It was the guy that made James Cameron. The James Cameron approach. And look at what our oceans have to offer. I'm talking like deep, deep down in the oceans where there's crazy things living there. We have no idea what can exist. Let's do that. Because I have a friend who he works for Google. And he works like on these ships where they do like surveying and stuff in the oceans. So right now they're taking like coral samples from like way deep down in the ocean. And they just analyze and stuff like that. So he's been on the ship in Australia for like 2-something months. And he says like, dude, what we're discovering is like some crazy stuff that no one's ever seen before. And you think about it, like when you get deep, deep down, I don't know how far it is, but like to the point where oxygen's not really a thing anymore, where the pressure is just so vast where it can crush a human person. Like there's animals that can somehow outlive that and still thrive in that kind of setting. And they're blind and, all that stuff. Experience that. Go down our oceans. Why are we going to space for?
Because we're polluting our oceans. I mean, we're polluting space, too.
Maybe
we're doing that, too.
Maybe the aliens are really coming from the bottom of the ocean.
Right? You ever seen that movie, Pacific Rim?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. No.
Well, see, now Brent and I speak my language.
You're talking Godzilla scenarios.
Nope, here we go. This is the conversation I want to have on this show. Because check this out. What if octopuses are like their pets and they got out? And the octopus, octopuses kind of they kind of resemble aliens, how we think they look. Maybe they did come from the ocean.
It's possible.
These are the hard-hitting questions we got to be asking, gentlemen.
We had this alien conversation before I left, and then I left for a couple of weeks.
I know.
So I wondered if people thought maybe we got picked up by aliens or we went into a different line of work.
The government wanted to stop these conversations.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I saw some guys in suits in the hallway when I was walking in.
Shut it down.
There's one thing I didn't say, and I ended up telling, I think, Steph and the kids this about the alien conversation that we had.
Yep.
And the one problem I have with the whole alien thing, especially the whole alien deal where, we, disappear.
Okay, now record this because I can't wait to play this back when we get taken over.
Yeah, but this is the one problem I have.
Okay.
Why the hell did I save all this money in my 401k?
You just want to spend it, huh?
Oh, of course.
Because we don't know what's going to happen.
I'm going to just go away, and everybody's going to go away, and now the aliens, they're not a beneficiary.
Just going to sit there. You could have taken it out at what? Was it? What's the fee to take it out early?
I don't know, 10%, 20%, whatever it is.
You get a 10% hit,
I just would never put it in.
That's a good point.
That will bother me. That will bother me. It's not dying. It's not anything else. But the fact that I put all that money in my 401k and can't touch
Brent's going to be getting sucked up by the bright light, slowly going to his demise in his spaceship. And while he's getting sucked up, it's not going to be so much I'm going to miss my family. It's like, 401k.
Why did I roll it over?
Dang it.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being real.
I know you are. That's all good.
Okay, I got one other question for you before we get to football at 5 for the real stuff.
Sure.
Action News JAX actually tweeted this out the other day. Did you see the article on the world cruise?
I did not know. Go on.
Oh, okay, I got to find it. So
was I supposed to know it? I mean,
I'm surprised. You're the travel guy. This is why I kept you.
I am the travel
guy. Not for the alien talk.
Yes,
I've seen this.
World Wide Weber.
World Wide Weber.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into the World Wide Weber later. That's like Thursday's show.
Don't worry about
that. Okay. It's a 5-month cruise.
Okay.
So apparently they started this worldwide cruise, and it's going to sail in 2024.
Cruises are doing really good right now.
And it's sold out. This one's sold out. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, they feel like things will be
better
fixed
by then. Sure.
This is a couple months ago, must have been.
Yeah.
By then. It's $73,000.
A little rich for my blood.
Okay.
For 5 months. It sold out in less than 3 hours. Regent 7 Seas Cruises, 5-month luxury cruise aboard the 7 Seas Mariner, will depart Miami on January 26, 2024, spanning 34,000 miles in 31 countries, including destinations in Central America, the U.S. West Coast, Hawaii, South Pacific Islands. I just got a pop-up ad. Come on, Action News JAX. Australia, New Zealand,
pay the bills.
Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and Bermuda. Now, here's one more element, and then I'll stop.
There better be a couple more elements with this price.
Pricing for the global tour that offers 442 shore excursions were as high as $199,000 per guest for a master suite.
Okay.
But the average price was about $74,000.
Gotcha.
Now, here's the real question. All inclusive or not?
I would assume so if it's on a cruise ship.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily because
I know they have the upgrades.
Yeah, I would
cruise
assume
ships.
it would be like that. You'd have
You could just go to Guy
upgradable
Fieri's
package.
burger joint every night. What do you mean?
So I got to pay $70,000. It's not all inclusive? Because if I'm going to spend that much money on a cruise, I'm getting my beak wet on filet mignon every single night.
If you're
going to
spend
prime
Well,
rib.
the food part's definitely going to be inclusive.
Okay, so
it's the
that's good.
alcoholic
If you're
stuff.
spending
Okay.
if
The
you're spending
beverages
that much
might not.
money on a cruise, you're probably also able to spend a little extra on different food if you want to.
Yeah, but most cruises
Think
at
about
least
the
cruises
demographic
I've been
you're
on,
going
whatever
after.
you buy
That's a good
into,
point.
like, you get the food. The
Okay.
other thing is
I
you
don't-
want to
I've
buy
never
the
really been on a
beverage
cruise.
package,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
That's a different one. Like that
Okay.
will,
Love that beverage
Upgrade.
package on cruises.
yeah. So
Okay.
for 5 months, your liver might be beat, but
That's a good point. Pace yourself now. It's a marathon.
Like
here's the-
drinking around Epcot every night.
So I seriously ask you this: if I gave you $100,000,
Yes.
would you go on this cruise?
Absolutely not. No.
Man, I got a fun cruise.
I would do it.
You would do it?
Oh,
Of
absolutely.
course you would. Do.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the thing.
Sounds
Obviously,
like
I would do it. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same people like the whole time, right?
well,
Yes.
you got different people at every country you're going to on these shore excursions.
Yeah, but I'm saying like once you're on the ship, you're with
yeah.
these people. Okay, so how many people is it on the ship?
Probably a decent sized ship.
I don't know. It's
Okay,
sold out.
well, let's call it a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Let's call it 5,000 people.
Sure.
All right. Out of those 5,000 people, probably at least 500 of them, I'm not going to like at all.
True.
Okay. All right.
It's a good
Whether it's
point.
sport take,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, we're not going to get along. So I got to see these people every single day. I have to be on the same ship with these people for a majority of the trip.
Yeah,
Absolutely
but you
not.
have registered weapons as hands only in the United States, probably not over international waters.
International waters. That's it. That brings up a good
What
question.
happens when we have to fight somebody when we're international waters? Like, wait for it, and we're good to go. Here comes the punch. That's a good point, Brent.
I
That's a
would
good
say
point.
you better have a casino on that thing.
There's no
Okay.
doubt. There's no doubt there's a casino.
And here's what I like the cruises.
So you would do this?
I don't know, and here's why.
Okay.
I'm the cruise guy for like 4 days max.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Steph, and she's like 7-day cruise or 10-day cruise. I'm like, can't we just go on like 3, 4, maybe 5?
You don't even get to any of the good destinations when you do 4. You're only going to the Bahamas.
I don't know how
That's
I
fun,
do.
though.
I'm
The
just being
Bahamas is
honest.
good.
I think it sounds really cool, like
Yeah.
the whole thing, and I'd probably do it. And I could live in a hotel. Like we basically lived in the hotel for the last 3 weeks, and I seriously could live in a hotel.
The world of travel
Like, I
ball,
really
everybody.
could. Now, that'd be really expensive if you paid for a hotel every night, but if they cut me quite a deal, I could probably do it. So I don't mind that part.
Just ask
but I'm
Roger.
just telling
Ask
you,
Roger Hoover.
I'm just telling you, I don't think I'd like the 5-month part. Forget the money, the being on the cruise, the stopping in all the places, all sounds good. But 5 months on a cruise? For a lot of the reasons you just said, too. I mean, listen, you run out of things to do.
Well, and it's like, what do you really accomplish from it? Like, yeah, we saw a bunch of cool sights, I guess.
Well, the excursions could be pretty good.
I mean,
It's really about the excursions and hitting so many different countries. And you think about the cost you would incur to hit 33 countries.
Yeah.
It's going to be significantly higher than even the $200,000 mark.
I actually, to be honest with you, I didn't think the price was that bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying I have it to go.
Correct.
I'm not paying for you. But for 5 months for a cruise, like, I wonder if you really did all the math on that. I bet it probably is a pretty decent rate.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, if I had 5 months to do anything, I'd rather like hike the Pacific Northwest Trail for 5 months and like complete that whole thing as opposed to going on a cruise. and
Okay,
doing
I'll go on a
nothing.
cruise.
That's why they got different.
sure as
You're
hell
not
ain't
gonna do
doing that.
But at least I can accomplish something. I feel like I accomplished nothing sitting on a cruise for 7 months or whatever it is.
You keep saying it that way. I feel like the actual being on the cruise ship part is like when you're traveling from country to country.
Okay, so I guess-
I mean, so much of the time I feel like is getting as much as you can out of each stop.
What is the percentage of the time that we're on the cruise ship compared to the percentage of time we're off the cruise
You
ship?
stop and
Also
eat.
compared to the percentage of time you're sleeping while you're on the cruise ship.
But that's what I need to know.
that
I need to
in
know
mind,
what
too.
percentage is we're on the cruise
Well,
ship and we're
5
not.
months is roughly 150 days, right?
Okay.
Well, you stop in 31 countries.
Okay.
So if let's just say you're there for 2 days, right? So that's 60 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that means 90 days you're sailing.
So 90 days on a cruise ship.
You're basically 90 days sailing,
Yeah.
I would say.
I'm all set.
It's probably at a minimum, really.
I'm all set. I'm good.
All right. More spots for me.
Stuart, go ahead, Ben.
Anyway,
Start selling that kidney or whatever, dude.
Weber, I knew you'd say yes to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
And
I would
Brent,
say
are
yes
you on
to
the
this.
fence, or we establish you're going on this?
I'd do it. I'd probably do it.
With
but
the family?
I really think I would rather.
Important distinction there.
I think I would really rather say screw the 31 countries and let me just go visit like 10 countries.
Yeah.
And fly on my own and spend the $75,000.
Well, see, they have stuff like that with Remote Year. I don't know if you're familiar with that program. Remote Year is a program where essentially this company handles all your flights and all your lodging for an entire year, and you're in a different country every month. So you spend a month in each country, and it's for people that, mostly young millennials, types like that, who can work remotely on a laptop wherever they are, spend a month, get immersed in the culture, and then boop, hop over to another one for the next month. And then bang, bang, bang. Like
that'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
One more thing, though. Do you really want to share? And I can't get over being on the cruise ship is my big ordeal, right? I mean,
I agree.
I beat this to death, though. But like, do you want to share the cruise ship with a bunch of people that spend $70,000 or whatever it is on that trip? Because what kind of people are we talking about here? Bunch of big rig oil tycoons,
retired,
well, I mean,
with like cigars and cowboy hats.
I would actually think
Spending
it'd be
their
like having like
inheritances.
400 grandparents.
Yeah,
okay.
There'd be a lot of older folks, I believe.
If it was our age, it's a lot of
YouTube influencers.
You'd be playing bingo quite
or it could be a
bit.
bunch of
Let's just
YouTube
say that.
Okay, or it could be a bunch of YouTube influencers. It's gonna be shuffleboard and the YouTube influencers in the corner just dancing and drinking the whole time.
It's probably
on their vapes.
Pretty eclectic.
It would be an interesting couple of tribes on that. Yep.
All right, Weber. Thanks for stopping by.
You got it. Anytime you need
show.
me for aliens and cruise ships, I'm
You're
here.
our guy.
I'm here for
Just
you.
another special edition of Football at 5 here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Speaking of, let's talk some fishing. You know how many fish you could catch on a 5-month cruise? Probably a lot. Let's bring in Rick Riles. Long time no talk. Rick, hope you're doing well, man.
Man, I've been missing you guys something fierce. I got to tell you, fishing's been pretty doggone good, though. As everybody knows, the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament turned out to be largely a success. Not a lot of real monster fish, but a lot of really good fish were caught, and a lot of good fish have been caught since. Now, the mangrove snapper bite continues to be very good both offshore and inshore. The reds are doing well inshore, and a lot of guys are shifting to fishing at night. In the dock lights around Mayport, down around Palm Valley, all in that area, the fish are responding very well at night when the water cools down a little bit. Watch out for the afternoon thunderstorms. Other than that, I think we're going to be calm for the next few days. But we'll be back to talk about it tomorrow with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
Look forward to it, Rick. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Brent.
All right, it's Rick Riles, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report, each and every day here at 5:15 on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Make sure you check out the show on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. with Rick and company, talking a lot of fishing right here on ESPN 690. Hey, you know what? Let's transition into our camp battle safeties with something that you have happy hour every hour on the 5-month cruise. It's happy hour time here on ESPN 690.
The good vibes. Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. It's a celebration.
.com, the place to go to find out where you can get a bottle of Vida de Luis tequila and Añejo Reposado Blanco. Go to VidaDeLuis.com. Locally owned tequila right here in Jax Beach, all the way from Tequila, Mexico. Hey, we go into camp battles here in Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Camp right around the corner. Rookies report today. The Jacksonville Jaguars veterans a week from today, and camp will start a week from tomorrow. Game on in Jacksonville and every other NFL city. Football season is almost here. And so each and every day, the next week or so, we'll take a look at some spots that we have some question marks about on this Jacksonville Jaguars roster. That does not exist, we believe, at, let's say, the quarterback position. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy. We believe that. And so what kind of spots do the Jaguars have next to Rayshawn Jenkins, who we heard from at the top of this hour? We talk about it when we come back. Do they have enough to feel good about the safety position and that secondary spot, the last line of defense? We discuss it. Who are the candidates? Who might surprise us? Who will play alongside Rayshawn Jenkins? It's coming up next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few scattered showers and storms this evening. Partly cloudy skies overnight, dropping into the lower 70s. Your Wednesday will be partly sunny, hot and humid. A few afternoon thunderstorms develop as temperatures reach the low 90s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News JAX Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Meter is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you can save up to 40% off with Christmas and July savings now through the 25th.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. Choosing a new career path, it can be a big commitment. It can take time, energy, and yes, of course, money. And if you're looking to turn your career path around right now, you need to take a serious look with my friends at J-Tech. When you go to J-Tech, they have one goal in mind, and that's giving you the skills and tools needed to succeed in the field of your choice. That's why up to 84% of their graduates are employed in a field of their study right after graduation. And the cool thing about J-Tech is as you're learning your trade, they can work with you, offering 2.5-day schedules. And you're never going to be overcrowded as their classrooms average on a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. So it doesn't matter if you're just graduating high school or you're looking for a brand new career path, J-Tech is the spot for you. Take part in the training of a whole new generation of automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation industry professionals. But you got to hurry because they're enrolling students right now for their up-and-coming fall term. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank and tell him that Austin sent you. jtech.org for more details.
The big one is back. It's time for the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota. And Arlington's got over 700 new Toyotas available. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles and Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. Arlington will even give you top dollar for your trade. Shop the Big One, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/big one for full details.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you interested in going into business for yourself? Do you know how to write a business plan? What is the best use of social media? What type of loans and other financing is available to a small business? These are among the many topics that SCORE addresses through the workshops and webinars we conduct all year long. Our presenters are subject matter experts and offer great insights that can make a difference to starting or running your business. Go to jacksonville.score.org and click on the Take a Workshop tab to see which one is of interest to you and sign up today.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity. The future of college football is now, and our primary goal is to position the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl and Jacksonville to be prepared for a potential college football expansion. And we need you, our local business leaders, to join our team and showcase that Jacksonville supports college football. Gator Bowl Sports has opportunities for all companies, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. I would love to meet you and talk about our future. If you'd like to learn more, contact me at 904-798-1700.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
The Hello Mega Tour is coming to TIAA Bank Field on July 31st, and ESPN 690 has 2 chances for you to win tickets to see Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. Listen to Action Sports Jax all this week at 4:15 for your first chance, and your second chance is to register on the contest page on ESPN690.com.
More pressure coming this time. Gets rid of it. Another big hit by Cisco again.
Oh, he read that thing beautifully. He came out of center field, and he exploded.
Rayshawn Jenkins, free agent, signee for the Jacksonville Jaguars. How good do you think he's going to be? I mean, what are your expectations? Seriously, he's such an under-the-radar guy.
Yeah, but that's your starting strong safety, clearly, for what you're paying him. My expectations, you know what? I think more than anything, it's going to be he's going to bring that attitude that they're looking for on defense. Because there was a lot of problems last year on that defense. We can break it down, ad nauseum. But I think a lot of the fact was that defense lacked swag. I think when you lost Jalen Ramsey, not to say he was the main culprit, but there's a lot of reasons why they didn't have swag last year. When you can't stop the run, that hurts your swag, obviously. But I think Rayshawn Jenkins brings that attitude a little bit. He's going to bring that physicality that you need on defense, especially in the AFC South where people are going to be trying to run the ball on you.
Yeah, I liked him after I heard about him more and saw a little bit more. But I think I'd be lying if I'm like, wow, this guy's got to really change the defense. This will be a really cool look at, did the Jags miss on getting like a high target safety that they were after and just couldn't negotiate? The free agent stuff didn't work out. They misread the market, whatever it might have been, with Balky and Urban doing this. Mm-hmm. Or is this a guy that they looked at and said, hey, man, we can get a lot of value out of this guy. He's a better player than a lot of people are thinking. It's not going to cost as much. This is a great value play here, and there's not much of a separation between the other guys that are going to command a little bit more money and this guy, or somebody that we could use as a draft pick and bring in here. This would be an exercise in that, because I believe we all kind of are like, okay, we don't really have a good pulse on Rayshawn Jenkins and what he's going to bring to this secondary.
See, I think he's going to be the guy, though, especially if I think this 3-4 defense is going to be what I think it's going to be. He's the guy that's going to be all over the place. He's going to be in the box. He's going to be blitzing. Once again, bring that physicality. Like, he's going to be an important cog of what Joe Cullen's trying to do, because in a 3-4 defense, you need versatile safeties. You need to add that confusion. You need to say where the blitz is coming from, what kind of coverage are they in, and he's going to be a focal point of that. So I think he's going to be absolutely essential to turning the page on a new defense because of what he's going to be asked to do in terms of versatility.
Yeah. So then what's next to him? We know he's going to be there. They paid him to be there. Mm-hmm. So now what for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
In terms of strong safety we're talking about. Or are you talking about free safety next to him?
Well, yeah, free safety.
Oh, free safety.
Right next to him. And you got Jared Wilson, of course, who's essentially the incumbent. Mm-hmm. You got a guy like Andrew Wingard, who's a special teams guy, shouldn't even be in this conversation in terms of playing valuable time. We've seen, I think, enough of that, with all due respect to Wingard. Here's a guy that I like, man. And I liked a lot of things about, and this is probably more from the strong safety spot, I would think, but Daniel Thomas, I thought he was starting to show some things. Then he got hurt, but I liked a few of the things that I saw. I don't want to overvalue that or dramatize that, but I like him, and he's going to be in the depth play at safety. I don't think he's going to be in the starting realm, but that's one of the guys that they have. The big play here is Cisco, and when can he be ready, right? Because there are high expectations on the draft pick out of Syracuse, but he also is coming off injury, and a pretty significant injury. So I look at him as more of a second half of the year guy, where I don't really look at him so much in the early going. Sure. And so that's why I don't include him as much in this conversation right now. Is Wilson the clear-cut guy, and he's going to be that steady Eddie guy, even though he's not the flashy player back there?
I think Daniel Thomas showed you a lot last year. He got his reps. I think he's a good communicator, was usually in the right spot. We weren't saying, Daniel Thomas out of position a lot last year. With that being said, though, let me ask you this question. I think if Cisco's healthy 100%, he's the clear-cut favorite, obviously.
I think he will assume the role at some point
eventually
of the season, as long as he's good to go health-wise.
But with where we sit right now, and once again, we just talked about Jenkins a little bit, where he's kind of the high-priced safety. What do you want back there more? Do you want the boomer bust maybe guy with a guy like Thomas, or do you want kind of the sure thing and pay a little more with Jared Wilson? And to me, at free safety, I'm taking Jared Wilson. Because to me, he's dependable. He offers you that communication. He's playing the center field. And versatility can be a big thing. But what you need from him is make sure everyone's on the same page. And I feel like Jared Wilson can communicate well, and he can make sure everybody's lined up. There wasn't a lot of times last year where Jared Wilson's in the wrong spot or like the secondary. I like what we saw from Jared Wilson. I would probably go with him until Cisco's ready.
Here's the thing I like about Wilson. I think he's dependable. I think he's, it was 2 years ago, I believe it was, he played every single snap for the defense. I think he's a bit underrated because he's not flashy. He obviously isn't the long-term, hey, we can be dynamic, we can't get any better player, because they wouldn't have made free agent acquisitions and drafted the way they did if they thought he was that guy. But I do think he is a nice stopgap guy to get to Cisco and get him healthy. And I think he's better than that. Stopgap guy kind of insinuates that, he's just okay, but he can play it for a little bit. No, I think he is better than that. I think he's not a superstar player. I think that's clear as day. But I think he's a very solid player. And what I'd like to see a little bit with Wilson back there is how much do them beefing up the secondary, how much does that help him, right? Where he's not trying to account for all these other guys maybe making mistakes because they weren't that good or young or whatever it might be. So I think that's the plus side of a guy like Wilson being back there. Reliability, dependability, experience, but also a guy like him could really elevate his game based on the fact that now they have Tyson Campbell, C.J. Henderson in year 2, Shaquille Griffin at the corner spot, now Rayshon Jenkins. So they've got some players back there that will make his job a little bit easier. His life a little bit easier. Doesn't have to be a playmaker. Not the Earl Thomas, not even what we saw at times from a Tayshaun Gibson. But just steady Eddie. Don't make mistakes, man. Just don't make mistakes. You're the last line of defense. Now, he did make some mistakes last year. That was a problem. It's not like he played great.
He didn't play perfect.
I mean, nobody played great on that defense.
Yeah.
But I think he might have a chance with the guys that they brought in to play better.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't know. And I'll have to go back and watch film, check the tape if they will. But I remember a lot of times last year where I was saying, or I was like literally pulling my hair out because Jared Wilson wasn't on the right plane, or he wasn't, I mean.
I think it was more whiff tackles, missed tackles on some of those break-free runs, you know?
You're a free safety. You're supposed to make those plays. I get that. But at the end of the day, I mean, what I want from you is to make sure that nothing's getting over the top and no one's burning you deep. And I agree with you. I think that if you surround him with improved players, with higher caliber players, then what does that do to him? Because we talk about how dependable he is, but if you add greatness around him, well, then maybe that dependability can be boosted a little bit. And now maybe you're playing outside yourself a little more in the best way possible. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think that, depending on what this defense is going to look like once again, but the great guys around him, I think Jared Wilson would be the safer pick. Nothing against Thomas. I think Thomas could be a good player as well. But like if I'm Joe Cullen and I'm analyzing this defense, I don't need to make the biggest splashes at every single position. What I need in a first-year defense is dependability. I think Jared Wilson can give you that.
By the way, you got Rudy Ford here too, but he's really he was signed as I think core special teams guy or more of a special teams guy than you'll see as a contributor, in that back end. Let me ask you this: you got, let's just say it's Jenkins and Jared Wilson to start, and maybe sometimes Cisco gets healthy enough and comes in and plays. And I think there's a lot of expectation on Cisco. I think he's an excitable guy that they drafted because of the production that he had in college. And I'm in on that, by the way. I like that. I really like the pick. The more you look at him, now you just hope he gets healthy, and how quick can he contribute, I think, is a sincere question. What are you more concerned about for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Their corner position or their secondary position?
Oh, to me, it's the corner position all day. And we can maybe break that down sometime later this week. But to me, it's C.J. Henderson, obviously. What do you have with him? Because in terms of dependability, he showed glimpses last year. He might have had his best game the first game of the season,
Yeah,
and then it went down from there, and that always makes you nervous. And now, once again, injuries could be a thing. Whether mentally he was there, whatever the case may be, but it's never a good sign when you play some of your best ball early on in your career, and as the season progresses, as a rookie, you play worse and worse ball. It's supposed to go the other way around. So obviously, there's a big question there. There's a big question with Tyson Campbell. Do you put him in the slot? Is he the 2 corner? There's a question there. So once again, it's hard to talk about dependability because we don't know where Tyson Campbell's playing yet. Only the coaches know right now. And then we talk about a guy like Shaq Griffin, who you spent all this money on. Well, he's got to be the guy, right? Like, I mean, you can't justify not spending that much money and saying, hey, go play the 2. No, you're going to shadow the 1 more than likely because that's just the way it's going to be. That's what you're getting paid to do. So to me, there's some more question marks at the secondary position in terms of cornerback than there is at safety.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of pressure on what the Jaguars did on the defensive side. It looks better on paper. They spent money on paper. They spent money. They did. That's reality on their defense to beef it up. They bring in Joe Cullen as a defensive coordinator. There's expectation that their defense will be so much better, in part because it can't be worse, but because they put a lot of emphasis there, too, from a veteran standpoint. They don't have to rely on just like these young guys to play back there, which is what they were doing a little bit last year at times. So, Roy Robertson Harris, that signing. Rayshon Jenkins, that signing. Shaquille Griffin, that signing. Those are 3 important things to watch at how the Jags did in spending their free agent money.
Yeah.
You can't come up empty on 2 of those 3 guys. The nature of free agency is that it's going to be hit or miss. But it's really important that they hit on those guys. And I really think especially the back-end guys, because they tried to reshape the back end with Jenkins, with Griffin as being the staple players, and then surround them with some young guys in Henderson, Campbell, obviously bringing in Cisco eventually. So I think it will be it's fascinating to watch. I feel like, man, that I believe they have bodies there. Like, I believe I know Shaquille Griffin and a little bit more than I know Rayshon Jenkins, and so I almost trust him more. And it might be just because he's a bigger name guy.
Yeah.
But I think I think I'm more concerned at safety to answer my own question, because if C.J. Henderson doesn't work out or isn't playing well, you can move Tyson Campbell there, and I think you got a good athlete, a good player, a high investment that could go over there and play there. You don't have that kind of depth, it doesn't feel like, at the safety position. So, answer, I know there are question marks. There are question marks on both of them, both positions. But I actually think I feel better about their corners than they do the safety.
But let's be honest, though, Brent. If Henderson doesn't work out, then what are we going to be talking about? Well, you blew a first-round pick on C.J. Henderson. If
that is true.
And like that'll be a big narrative.
But it's not Urban did.
As I say, it's not Urban, but still, just I know.
Well, Bulky kind of in part did.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's not fair to him. But we talk about this is the guy that replaced Jalen Ramsey, and then that's what he's known for. So
yeah, I'll give you one other thing. I feel like the depth at corner is, I might even have more confidence in.
That I agree with.
Than the safety position too.
I think we've
you
got
got guys
more.
like Sidney Jones. You got Chris Claybrooks, who played a bit last year, right?
Yeah, Trey Herndon.
Trey Herndon. Luka Barku was kind of that fun guy in camp. Didn't really do much, if he got in the game at all. So I feel like I'm okay with those guys more than I'm okay with. Okay, what if Rayshon Jenkins gets hurt, or what if Jared Wilson doesn't work out? What if Cisco doesn't come back? So I guess that's why I'm still a little questionable on the safety position. It'll be a camp battle to watch, though. Can anybody? The incumbent in that spot's going to be Jared Wilson. Can anybody wrestle that job away from him?
I mean, I think
interesting to watch
for sure. I think it comes down to Daniel Thomas. I think Thomas theoretically could, depending what he brings to the table. So I think if there's going to be for instance, a training camp battle. Assuming Cisco's not going to be good to go right off the get-go, then I think the biggest battle at the safety spot is going to be between Wilson and Thomas.
I don't know if I'll say this about this defense. And you know me, I don't pretend to be like this X's and O's guy, this schematic guy on offense and defense, and they're going to run this and do this. But I think this is the most confused I've ever been about a Jaguars defense and its personnel. And some of that's just the nature of the way the game has gone. So many of the safeties can play both spots now, right? You can move them around. They kind of want to be moved around. You want to have that versatility to move around. They're so athletic. The game is dictated. I don't need that big Donovan Darius bopper guy, right, at the strong safety spot.
Yes.
So, therefore, you can have the athletic guy who can also play center field.
Yep.
And so with that comes question marks like, okay, I kind of figured, I think I saw Daniel Thomas more in that strong safety mold. I think that's where he kind of fits, but can he kind of move over and play that free safety spot and make a run at Jared Wilson and some playing time? I view him more as a strong safety type. But even to further that point about my confusion on their defense is we spent much of this offseason talking about the 4-3 and the 3-4, and we know it's going to look a little bit more 3-4-ish, but Joe Cullen will not go all there and say it is definitely all 3-4. We're going to do some hybrid stuff, which means it's very hard to even name their front.
This is true.
It's hard to name like who is going to run out there on the first snap on defense.
Yeah,
that's unusual, man. I mean, that's weird. Like we've been able to do that. You might not like what's running out there, but you've been able to do that. We cannot say with certainty like what defense is going to run out week 1 in Houston on the first play of the game. It's really hard to do.
No, when we're talking about their front, you're absolutely right because we don't know exactly is it going to be over, is it going to be under. Sometimes, in these 3-4 defenses, sometimes the best players don't necessarily play. I'm talking about like the best capable players because, well, who's bigger? Who's better in the run game? Like you take all those things into account. We're talking about a 3-4 defense, but you mentioned it and you hit it right on the head. From the safety position, it's a little different because usually the best guys do play, assuming that they can handle both duties. And you said it. You have to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to fall back into coverage. You have to blitz sometimes. Like, that's what makes a 3-4 safety a 3-4 safety. So I get what you're saying. Maybe you see Daniel Thomas a little more as a strong safety than you do a free safety. In this defense, though, it doesn't really matter. Like, 9 times out of 10, Jared Wilson will be in the center field and Jenkins will be blitzing. Like, that's just expect to see that for the most part. But every once in a while, there's going to be another wrinkle in there. And I think if we're talking about depth purposes, you need guys that can do both. So Daniel Thomas, is he more of a strong safety or more than free safety? Doesn't really matter because you got to be able to do both these things because I think this defense will be that dynamic.
Real quick follow-up to that. Is that the nature of the 3-4 that brings all those questions into play, or is it the nature of the modern-day defense and scheme and player?
So I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little combination of, well, this is obviously a very pass-heavy NFL now, right? So you have to match speed for speed. Yeah, it's great to have that strong safety that can just come downhill and thump somebody. But now if you see a strong safety, it's like a Jamal Adams who can do everything, who can go back into coverage if he has to. He's not just a thumper. He's a jack of all trades, if you will. But it's also a combination of the scheme where it's, all right, 3-4, all about confusion, all about where's the blitz coming from. Well, if you got the strong safety on the line, it's probably he's probably going to blitz. Well, here comes the free safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always talk about Eric Berry, and I hold Eric Berry in very high regard because he was one heck of a football player and a great leader when I was there in Kansas City. That guy could do everything. That guy could bring the lumber when you had to bring the lumber. That guy could drop back into coverage. He could blitz, was not afraid to tackle somebody. He was literally all around the field, and you couldn't put him in a box and say, well, he's a strong safety, he's a free safety, because he was that talented. That's what makes a good 3-4 defense, is having those versatile safeties.
Yeah, I think the Jags have a bunch of that versatility up front and even in the back end. We'll see what it looks like in just about a week when camp opens a week from tomorrow. Rookies did report today, by the way. Veterans will report next week. All the Jaguars rookies are signed, sealed, and delivered. No drama there as well. Did you see what's coming a little bit out of SEC Media Days? Some updates on what some of these players are making with the NIL. Woo, baby. It's big for one Alabama quarterback.
Uh-oh.
We talk about it next on ESPN 690.
It's Tuesday. I'm Casey Kurtz. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are back in action tonight at 121 Financial Ballpark. The Shrimp will welcome the Nashville Sounds into Jacksonville. The Sounds are the AAA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. You can hear the game tonight on our Facebook page, ESPN690 JAX, as the NBA Finals Game 6 will be on ESPN Radio. The Bucks will look to close out the series tonight at home and win their first championship since 1971. The game starts at 9 right here on ESPN 690. And some unfortunate injury news for former FSU star Cam Akers. Akers tore his Achilles in training today and will miss the entire 2021 NFL season. As a reminder, ESPN 690 is the home for Florida State University here in Northeast Florida. You can hear all FSU football games right here starting September 5th against Notre Dame. This SportsCenter update sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny. I don't talk a lot about golf here because I know that unless something like Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson-esque is happening, not enough people are into it. But do you know what could bring people into it? Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka hating each other. Stop acting like you are above being a sport. So if you want more people to get interested in it, let interesting things happen.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. Choosing a new career path, it can be a big commitment. It can take time, energy, and yes, of course, money. And if you're looking to turn your career path around right now, you need to take a serious look with my friends at JTech. When you go to JTech, they have one goal in mind, and that's giving you the skills and tools needed to succeed in the field of your choice. That's why up to 84% of their graduates are employed in a field of their study right after graduation. And the cool thing about JTech is as you're learning your trade, they can work with you, offering 2.5-day schedules. And you're never going to be overcrowded as their classrooms average on a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. So it doesn't matter if you're just graduating high school or you're looking for a brand new career path, JTech is the spot for you. Take part in the training of a whole new generation of automotive, diesel, HVAC, marine and RV, and transportation industry professionals. But you got to hurry because they're enrolling students right now for their up-and-coming fall term. So what are you waiting for? Call 904-483-9460. Ask for Hank and tell him that Austin sent you. jtech.org for more details.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
Anyone can talk like they're a big dog, but few actually walk the talk. We're not the only plumbing company claiming same-day water heater service. In fact, a lot of customers have called us after other companies failed to come through on their same-day service talk. Fortunately, Griffin Service delivers. We eat big dogs for lunch. And we fix what others can't. Some of that's knowing the science, engineering, and craft of AC and plumbing better than the Bubbas, but it's also better planning. The key to actually doing same-day water heater replacement is having water heaters in stock and ready to go. And that's what we do. Gas, electric, tank, tankless, we got them all in stock and ready to roll for you. So if you want to avoid the bait and switch turd bucket tactics of the Bubbas, or if you discover you're in the middle of an all talk, no walk situation with a wannabe, well, you know who to call, right?
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Just be positive. Just be a happy homeowner. With a Community First Mortgage Champions, you'll know you're getting the best deal and a great experience. You'll get a super rate, close in as little as 30 days, save about $3,000 in closing costs, and enjoy championship service at every step. So you're as happy buying your home as the day you move in. Well, almost. Apply or learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
At Tire Outlet, we're committed to providing our customers with professional and honest automotive recommendations. Don't believe us? Check out our reviews online and see why we're Jacksonville's preferred automotive shop.
Great guys to work with, always very helpful and affordable.
With 12 locations across Northeast Florida, Tire Outlet can help keep you and your family safe on the road, wherever you are.
Wholesale prices, premium service, Tire Outlet.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports JAX. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN690. Almost made it through a Tuesday here on Action Sports JAX on ESPN 690. Casey has settled in. Got the podcast up for Andy Loosemore overseas. By the way, you got to know Loosemore, he was at the Open Championship. He listens to us from across the pond. And he listens on the podcast every day, so we give him a shout-out.
Yeah.
He also had the dream, he was such a good listener. And he'd keep Coos on his toes about the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I sent him over.
Accountable. Dream
18 hat, Dream 18 shirt. Mm-hmm. And we sent him a little package of goodies because he was such a loyal guy. Yep. And he wore it to the Open Championship the other day.
Nice.
How about that? Had a little Dream 18 at the Open Championship.
Spreading the message a little bit. I like that.
By the way, I should spread the message that the Dream 18, which I hope and I think will fill up fast, got a little early momentum. But we just launched over the last couple of weeks the registration for the Action Sports JAX Dream 18 golf tournament. It is September 20th at Southampton. It's a Monday after Jags get a couple of W's. It's actually after their home opener. So Monday at Southampton. Go to actionsportsjaxdream18.com to register. Very affordable, good tea gifts, a lot of fun. We'll have restaurants and food and music and all that stuff out on the course. It's going to be a good time. Cadillac, once again, our title sponsor. And a big thanks to our other sponsors like Ron Scholes and the Jacksonville Giants and Best Bet here in Jacksonville. So we appreciate everyone's support. More to come on the way. But check it out, actionsportsjaxdream18.com is the link to register for the golf tournament. And we hope it will fill up fast. Already filling up. And you can play September 20th, Monday at Southampton. See, this NIL stuff, as we were kind of breaking for a little bit of a vacation here on ESPN 690, got hot, right? July 1st was the date.
Yep.
It's a fascinating topic. It's a wild topic. We talked about it. And now coming out of SEC Media Days, there's a bunch of stories on today, Nick Saban talking about Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. And Bryce Young is this five-star guy that actually Mac Jones held off. And they thought he was going to come right in and take over for Tua. And Mac Jones said, not so fast, young fella, and had outplayed him and won the job and played so great. And obviously now with the New England Patriots. But Bryce Young is like the star guy. He's a really good player for Alabama, or is expected to be. But he hasn't played. Mm-hmm. Like, he just really hasn't played. And he's approaching almost seven figures since the new NIL rule passed.
This is absolutely
insane. For the folks that don't know what seven figures is, that's $1 million.
It's absolutely insane. I'll never forget when I got my first stipend check at Murray State. It was like, I think, $800-something. I thought I was big time. I'm like, hey, we're going to the Golden Corral tonight, everybody, because I got $800 in my pocket. The fact this dude is about to pull in, you said, I'm sorry, seven figures?
Making sure we're right.
7 figures.
The quote from Saban is, our QB has already approached ungodly numbers, and he hasn't even played yet. If I told you what it is, it's almost 7 figures. That's what Saban said.
Once again, I mean, I couldn't be any happier because, you earned it. Especially it's Alabama, right? Like, they're going to make a killing, obviously, in merchandise and ticket sales, all that stuff. But when we talk about $1 million plus, I mean, that you know what they say, Brent, more money, more problems. Like, you're a college kid. Okay, what kind of car are you going to get now? Like, where are you going to live? Like, those things can come into light a little bit.
By the way, you're buying the pizza. All right? Bryce Young's buying the pizza. Yeah. Like at the Keg.
Well, I mean,
parties at his place.
If you're throwing a house party, forget, $5 for a cup of WAP. Free on the house. We'll see at the game. Like, you're going to charge people $5 when you have the audacity? You're a millionaire? You're charging me $5 a cup? No, sir. No, sir.
Pretty wild. By the way, he wasn't talking at SEC Media Day, but he was talking at, I think, like a Texas high school convention. And that's where it came up. But, wow. You know, we've seen the kids making money in the Miami stuff and everything, and like kind of went as we thought, and then that opened your eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
A guy who hasn't played.
Yeah.
Quarterback position at Alabama is pretty good.
Crazy times we're living in. Yeah, hey, how's that for a recruiting tool?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Play for me? Want to become quarterback?
Yeah. Saban shouldn't be poo-pooing this stuff. It will help him.
Hey, yeah, sure. We win championships. Also, $1 million for you if you want to come here.
That's true.
Man.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight. Listen to Austin in the morning, 95.1, of course, WAPE. You can watch me on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Good work by Casey again. We'll do it again tomorrow, 3 o'clock on ESPN 690.
Hello, you